hate group terrorists have an active position where they needed to generate their black market and their mechanism of their chaotic disruption in order to manifest their magic spells materializing in the crime contracts being certified means the government, as the top criminal, had to remove all competition in order to be the exclusive mechanism or system for all crime, in which case it is more than just disillusionment of competition. It is the permanent mechanism of the systems of society receiving uncontrolled injury. These uncontrolled injuries, such as with Jeffrey Epstein, have the permanent contracts which cannot be revoked under the Confederate system. And as the Confederates develop the mechanisms, society will continue to exponentially compound on receiving the injury until they don't exist, and the Confederacy won by insurgency, espionage, as the mechanism of war, guerrilla warfare against the American public in this perfect war. Many surmise the concept of the Portland Girl Office as the mechanism of rape culture. This non-competition contract series qualifies their certification of what they think would have happened in relationships and the obstruction being certified of having to stop the association. They qualify the certification bonding this relationship. All of the relationships that they bond are their concepts, their qualifiers, their mechanisms, their beliefs. Or they wanted to have signed off on it. They wanted to have contracted it. They wanted to have paid for the crime. The obligation of maintaining human decency, equal justice under law without office or status being in reference, qualifies the obligation that everyone, no matter how rich or how poor, or office, qualifying what position they hold in the government, by law under the Constitution, cannot allow any of these systems to exist. But the certification that they had to obstruct a thing directly believed certifies their acknowledgement of its existence. The qualification of its existence deems it necessary, by all means, to qualify that as original assets. The associations and values have to be provided to each person in its equivalent value, no matter what. And these active changes are social engineering, which is a hate group. Social engineering is a hate crime. The rest of it is hate crimes. The political violence is a hate crime. The religious violence is a hate crime. Stopping David as a character from associating with his original religion, qualifying his studies by their assaults and subversions, changing the education and the mechanism so that he couldn't have finished his full due diligence, so that he can't give an educated answer, so that he can't give a sober answer, qualifies the threat. Now, the certification of what they believed he would have had is the minimum standard of living that they have to return to him. Everything that they've injured, they have to restore in its equivalent. They targeted David and everyone else on those bases, that this is purely hate group motives. The qualifiers that they have to be arrested and prosecuted requires and censoring the secrets. The Confederate secrets are not American secrets. And protecting the Confederacy is an act of treason. Whatever David would have had has to be returned to him in its equivalent value plus debts. This is a minimum. This is non-negotiable. There is no legitimate alternative to justice. Their subversion of justice in order to subsequently change the United States through these magic insurrectionist offenses is the return to secret policing by the KKK. This new KKK, this neo-KKK, are just as bad or exponentially worse than the original, in the FBI position loyal to the insurrection. They don't change any of their policies. They changed how they present their policies. They'll give it a new skin. They'll give it a new definition. They'll have something written in front of it, and then it won't change. They'll give it a new mask. Now, the new mask for all of the old policies establishes that all of the crimes of American history are Confederate crimes, and these Confederate crimes being protected with new masks means they are the original threat. The maintenance of the original threat qualifies the obligation to aggressive opposition. We have to do a deep clean of insurgents. The insurrection must be abolished. There is no alternative.